We are going live tonight. I am at my condo, so damn. Let me see if that's a little too much light. Um, I just brought a new hookup, but let me see. Yeah, I think that's better. Whew, I was going blind with that other thing. Anyway, listen, y'all know I love my Dominican Republic, new homeland. What's up, Big Xavier? But there's some shit that we just need to talk about tonight. And so we gonna talk about it. What's up, Gil? What's happening, Mr. J Lover? What's up, Double A 33? Vic, what's going on? What's going on? But let me start off my show the way I always start off the show, and that's with a virtual hug for those who may have lost someone during this COVID situation, and a big virtual hug to those first responders, the people who was out on the front line during this. It's now the situation, from my understanding, is getting better. So, hope we stay on the right track no matter where you are at in the world, especially Brazil. If you're in Brazil, oof. Anyway, what's up, Jesse? So, I named this video tonight, and I'm gonna get to y'all questions if you have any questions. But I want to just get through this whole premise and let you know why I named this particular video. Because there's just some man, there's just some fuckery going on that I cannot tolerate anymore. Because we're talking millions and millions of dollars. Yes, millions of dollars. So, the Dominican Republic, it's a beautiful place. You come down here, you have a beautiful time, great people, the whole 9 yards. What's up, Avery? Thank you for the super chat, bro. Thank you for the super chat, Avery. Thank you, brother. However, they got this, and I talked about it. I'm quite sure some other folks may have talked about it. They got this gringo side. But we ain't talking about the gringo side where somebody's charging you like an extra 100 pesos, which is a little less than $2 for, something out the grocery store. Now, we're talking hundreds of thousands, like I said, millions of dollars if you add it all up with how they're trying to do this real estate and just rentals here in the Dominican Republic. Seriously. I mean, from real estate, could be 100, 150, $200,000 more if you're a gringo than if you could find a front person, Dominican, local, that you can trust. And that price may drop 100, 150, $200,000 to even rentals. I know Puerto Plata right now. Puerto Plata rentals. I mean, I don't understand why they are going up the way they are going up. Like right now, and these are some beautiful homes like up in the Torre Alta area or in Estancia or maybe down in the Coastal Bar area, or Torre Alta area. Now, where, let's say, a year and a half ago, right? You could have got, let's say, if you wanted an empty house, a nice empty house, 3-4 bedrooms, may have cost you about $700-800, maybe less, right? Because it's empty. Because a lot of times you're either gonna rent it out with furniture, or you're gonna rent it out without furniture. And when I say without furniture, I mean no stove, no microwave, no refrigerator, none of that. I mean, none of that. Not even standard. So let's say a year and a half ago, I could have got that stove, that place for $750 because it's not furnished, right? And the renting it out furnished, may have ran me about $900, maybe $950. Now they want $1,200. $1,200 for an empty house that you have to furnish. Why? Because I'm going to tell you. You got people coming down here that's crazy enough to pay that. And I tell people when they come down here and they're looking for a place to stay, or they're looking for rentals or real estate, don't give people the first price they tell you off the cuff. Because I can tell you, they are absolutely 9 times out of 10 lying to you about the price. And when I say a lie, this is what I mean. If my cousin, let's say if I had a cousin who was a local, they would come, let's say if they wanted to come and get a place, right? Same place, the price drops dramatically. Dramatically. Now, in America, and I know I'm not in America, but that shit is just like illegal, and probably should be illegal here. But a lot of our Dominican brothers and sisters who happen to be in a position to own real estate, own land, man, they just seriously, they trying to cut the gringos price. And I'm talking about no matter who you are. The one thing I want to let you know, and I have yet to find somebody to dispute this. No matter how long you live in Dominican Republic, right? You could be here 15 years, 20 years, right? You will always be a foreigner. You will always be a gringo. I've always said on my vlogs that Dominicans, one of the best things that I do love about them are their nationalists. And as I said on a couple of shows before, I wish the black community were nationalists like our Dominican brothers and sisters. But one of the worst things about living in Dominican Republic is that they are nationalists. And I'm sorry, but for the most part, you're not going to get that fair shake. Now for them, hey, that's a fair shake. You know, if I charge you $400 and I charge somebody else, a Dominican, 6,000 pesos, it's a fair shake. How the hell is that a fair shake? It's like, what, did you go into my pockets and start reading or go into my computer and start reading my bank account statements and shit? I mean, like I said, I love Dominican Republic. Don't plan on moving yet. Don't plan on moving. But I mean, this is two-faced thing, man. That just irks me. Now, I've lived here long enough, and I've been coming here long enough, where I don't let them anyone in a position to shake me down like that. The deals I've gotten from vehicles to the house I'm living in, to even the condo I brought. I've been very fortunate because I stand my ground. Somebody just put a comment up. I just read it very briefly. I didn't read the whole thing. It says, well, you're living by the ocean. All right, but guess what? There are thousands of my Dominican brothers and sisters living by the ocean that ain't paying what I'm paying, right? So, and like I said, this is about a fair shake, right? This is about a fair shake. I could even understand going up a little, but when you damn near doubling and in some cases tripling the price, come on, man. And then after you find out you got tripled a price, you paid for something, like I said, even if it's, a coconut water, where a lot of my Dominican brothers and sisters will get that coconut water for, let's say, 25, 30 pesos. You come, it's 50 pesos. Why is it 50 pesos when I just seen you charge somebody else 30 pesos? What the hell? So, me, you keep your damn coconut. I'm going to go to somebody else, and I always watch to see how much somebody pays before I pay it. I always watch to see how much somebody pays. And 9 out of 10, they'll be like, oh, no problem, because they know that, you caught red-handed, And like I said, the more you learn, the more Spanish you learn. My Spanish still is not that great, but it's getting better. But I know enough Spanish now uh, where I can, where they know what the hell I'm talking about when I know they trying to gouge me, because I'm not getting gouged, you know. And it's even when you ask somebody, hey, show me a place, right? And you tell them, listen, my budget is $800 max. The first thing they want to show you is something for $1,900 fucking dollars. Like, I'm not paying $1,900 for this. Why would I give you $1,900 for this when I know I can go somewhere and get it for $800? You know, still good community, still great house. But the thing is, you got to be patient. You got to be patient. So I employ everyone, and I keep telling everyone, man, do not. Oh, somebody, and they're bringing money to their country. So do not let somebody shake you down. I tell them, keep it. Let that house stay empty. Let it stay empty. Find somewhere else to live. Because the thing is, as long as they keep finding a sucker, and there's a saying just like in America, we say it in Dominican Republic, there's a sucker born every day in Dominican Republic. Yes, there's a sucker. Matter of fact, I should say there's a sucker born every minute in Dominican Republic, because people keep giving away their money. And a lot of times people come to me and I'm like, well, and I say, well, how much did you happen to pay for that? And they tell me, and I'm like, what the hell? And they said, what do you think, Russ? I said, I think you got robbed. I think you got robbed, straight up robbed. Now, a lot of times when you're moving from a Western country and you used to, you know, let's say if you're moving from New York and you used to paying $1,800 for one bedroom apartment. Now you got this beautiful apartment, this beautiful house in Torrey Alta with sea views. Now, you know that Dominican brothers and sisters are paying maybe $700 over there, right? Same house, maybe next door, across the street or whatever. Now it's you, right? Could be the same owner. Now, the Dominicans, like I said, they're nationalists. They're going to look out for each other. So they'll charge him $700, but when you come look at it, $1,200. And you're like, $1,200. And you think about it, you be like, look, I just left New York paying $1,800 for this one bedroom closet. You go up on the rooftop, you're seeing this beautiful ocean view. You got this beautiful feeling of freedom on you, man. You got this beautiful sun coming down on you. $1,200, all right, that's fine. No, it's not. That empty house should cost you, I ain't saying that you're gonna get it for $700, but goddamn, you shouldn't have to pay no goddamn $1,200. All right, if they charge you another extra $150, okay, fine. You gave me the gringo price, but still, you know, I'm good with it. No, they're not gonna do that. It's $1,200. $1,200 all day long, because they know somebody is going to take it. Now me, it took me 6 months. Not 6, 5 months to find my place. And a lot of cats, a lot of people who watch my videos, if they've been down DR, they've been to Puerto Plata. I don't know how many people been through my house. Beautiful house right there across the street from Goshen. Even when I first negotiated with my lady, I told her she wanted $1,100, and this is furnished, and this is modern furniture. Oh, and let me get to that. Let me get to the other stuff. Modern furniture, right? Very nice, very nice. I said no, I'm not paying $1,100. And my realtor was like, well, that's a really good price. I said it was a really good price. I said, but how much would a Dominican pay for this? And they said, honestly, Russell, 7 or 8. Well, that's what I want. That's what I want. So we went back and forth. We went back and forth. Right? She said 11. I said 9. She says 1050. I said 850. She said, well, you just said 950. I said, yeah, but I said, but you still not meeting my price. So we stopped talking for 2 days. Then she calls me back. Says, all right, I'm going to give it to you for 900. I said, okay, doable, right? So now, when I first got the place, I was paying $900 for the first maybe 7 or 8 months. and her son used to take care of the pool, take care of some other things, the yard and stuff around the house. All right, that was cool. Didn't come out of my pocket. So then the son got a really good job in Santo Domingo somewhere, some other part of Dominican Republic. So I was informed that I would have to start taking care of that myself. I said, okay, so my rent should go down, right? Because if I listen, in the contract, you said you would take care of A, B, and C. Now I have to take care of A, B, and C. So if I got to take care of A, B, and C, and it's costing me financially, why would I take the hit when I'm getting less? So we renegotiated, and now I 800. So I said, all right, let's tear up the lease from this day, and let me let me sign another 2 or 3 year lease, whatever your comfort level, so I can keep the rent at $800 for at least 2 years. We both agreed. That was fine because I stood my ground. Because I was not going to be bullied into a gringo situation. And this is the thing, right? Puerto Plata, which I love, I brag on it. I love the people, I love the atmosphere. Beautiful ocean right there at your, you know, I mean, 10 yards. Come on. However, Puerto Plata shouldn't even be asking those prices because they don't have the infrastructure to withstand the price that you're asking for. There are no freaking big ass malls in Puerto Plata. The closest thing you got to a mall is, or anything that resembles a mall, may be Burger King. You know, I'm serious. You know, Wi-Fi, the internet in Puerto Plata sucks. You know, the traffic, well, there's not a lot of traffic, but there should be at least a few more lights there. Places that, you know, that, hey, this would be a good idea for lights so it don't take me 2 hours to get down the street. So a lot of the infrastructure that a lot of municipals have that bring up the prices, you know, because you know when you move to a certain area, and like I used to be a real estate agent when I was in America, and I used to tell my clients, you know, especially with kids, I said you want to look at the school zone, you want to look at after care programs. They're like, what do you mean? I said, well, let's say if you have a child with disabilities, look and see what infrastructures that city has to measure up what you're paying, to make sure that, hey, that I'm not moving in an area where it's overpriced. You know, if I'm from Atlanta, you know, before I left the Matrix. So areas like, let's say, the Vinings, where you had every type of amenity in that city. And you can see why the Vinings was so freaking high. You had every type of amenity. But Puerto Plata doesn't have all those amenities or have that infrastructure to demand the price. However, they got a lot of gringos moving in there now. So for them, hey, gringo moving in, we're going to demand the price. I personally am not going to pay that price. I'm going to pay what something is worth. Now, this is, and I tell people, a lot of times you pay for what you feel things are worth. Now, if somebody says, hey, I think this place, they're asking for $1,200, they're not going to budge Russell, I really want this place, and if that's what you want, and you think, hey, it's really worth it, then do you. I told you, I'm not going to get into how a person spends their money or how they take care of their proclivities. Let's put it like that. That's you. I'm just saying I'm not going to do it. And I don't advise you to do it also. That's it. I tell people, I also don't advise people to drive, but I drive because I have to. I don't want to be stuck. But some people say, hey, Russell, I know you said don't drive, but hey, man, I can't be like, you know, non-mobile. Cool. Till you get into that accident. Right? As long as you got your things in order, you good to go. So my point was, I try to give people the most extreme point, and then you do what you want with it, and then you do what you want with it. I know. And I have had people say, well, you say don't do this, but I see you doing it. You tell people don't rush into real estate deals, but you brought your house, you brought your condo 2 days after you was there. Yeah, because I know what I want. I'm not that person that after I buy something, I have buyer's remorse. I go back home in 2 days and I'm like, oh shit, why did I buy that? That's not me, but a lot of people are. So I just try to give you caution, right? I'm not saying, um, don't do anything. I advise on the high end of caution, but hey, whatever fits your comfort zone, whatever fits your comfort level, do you. This is not a one size fits all moving to another country. People on different budgets, people on different schedules. Some people want to do it part time. Some people have to go back because they got kids, whatever. It's not a one size fits all. So I normally give out the most extreme caution, and then you can work your way off it, down, up and down that scale, wherever you fit your comfort level. But one thing I won't do, I'm not going to be gringoed. I'm not gonna be gringo. As not at least as not as much as some of my Dominican brothers and sisters may want me to be gringo. So I'm telling you, as a word of caution, don't ever give up that first price. Don't do it. Don't do it. Always leave some room, some bartering. Always leave some room for bartering. I'm telling you. Because if these houses, if this land starts sitting there for a few years, they'll start selling. They'll start selling. Especially with this COVID thing, things were going real cheap. They started going down, down, down. But as the COVID situation eased up, they not only went back up to the levels of pre-COVID, but past. Like boom, 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 boom. So that's what's going on down here. And like I said, I think it's kind of giving that two faces. I got the gringo face. There's a face that I show you when that foreigner comes over. And I got the local face for when my Dominican brothers and sisters approach me about the same thing. So watch it. And I'm talking about thousands of dollars. I remember in one of my vlogs, the house that was right across the street from me, across the street on the side of me. They wanted, when a friend of mine looked at that house, it was 230. I went with him and his wife to look at the house because I told him that's the only house in this area that is actually selling. Right, house needed a lot of attention. So when he inquired, they wanted 230. Right? They negotiated back and forth and back, went down to I think 210. My neighbor, who happens to be married to beautiful Dominican lady, married to the cousin of the real estate agent. They had a nice little party. Invited me to the party. Went to the party. Saw the real estate agent. I know he didn't recognize me, but I recognized him. I said, hey, asked my neighbor, asked the husband. I said, hey, can you do me a favor? Ask the real estate guy, how much is that house across the street? Tell him you want to do it for an investment. He said, okay, no problem. So he went and asked, hey, how much is the house? So the guy said 180, right? Now he started with 230 when my friend came down to 210. And I've told this story in another vlog. But then, I guess maybe the wife might have been curious, or maybe he said something to the wife. She went over there and said, hey, don't bullshit. How much is the house next door? So we went from 230, 210, 180 to 150. To 150. Now at 150, I'm pretty sure my friend would have brought it. But 150 to 230, Talking about $80,000. Even if you drop it to 210, you're still talking $60,000. That's a lot of damn bread. And if they sell it at 150 to the family member, they still making a profit. I mean, a nice profit. However, if my friend would have brought that 210, he would have paid for the real estate dude house, car, and kids to go to private school. So I'm telling you, man, people are getting beat in the real estate game and the rental game by millions of dollars because it's just not happening in the area I live in. Trust me, it just ain't happening in Puerto Plata or Sosua. I mean, we talking about everywhere. The only city that seems to have a pretty fair price, what I would say, especially on rentals, is Santiago. Because every place else that I have, and I haven't did a full out census, but I know a lot of people that live all over the island. And every time I ask them, they tell me the same story I'm telling you. But the people who are in Santiago, their story is a little bit different. They always say, nah, the rental prices are pretty good. Even the housing prices are pretty fair. Because it's not a tourist town also. So Santiago is not touristy. Now, of course, if you want to live up in the Campo somewhere, high up in the hills, of course, that whole thing would drop dramatically. But if you want to live in an area where you can get some at least decent amenities, try at least decent Wi-Fi, okay? If you're going to gouge me, then at least give me some decent Wi-Fi. How about that? How about that? Can I at least get some decent Wi-Fi? But like I said, the municipality doesn't have the infrastructure to support these prices. So I'm trying to figure out how are they coming up with these prices besides I think these people are suckers. And as I said, there's a sucker born every minute in Dominican Republic. And normally the sucker is not from Dominican Republic. I ain't talking about the brothers and sisters that live here. I'm talking about the brothers and sisters that come over here. Because they're coming over here with their eyes wide open, but not wide open and looking to make sure they're not getting beat. Wide open like, ooh, 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 ooh. Like they're in a goddamn, candy store. And I understand the excitement and I understand this is fresh, this is new. I can't believe I get this property. If I was in Florida, it would cost me $500,000 as opposed to maybe $200,000. I understand all that, but still, when you look at it, if I was local, I would pay 80 grand less or 60 grand less, multiplied over all the people that be coming down here and all the people that's renting out these houses. Come on, man. And not getting the infrastructure or amenities that you would have from another municipality. Like I said, malls, different conveniences, but mainly Wi-Fi. I mean, come on. There's nothing there to say this is why the prices are going up, except greed. All right, somebody asked, do they have planning boards meeting? I'm sure they do. I'm absolutely sure they do. I'm absolutely sure they do. I mean, this city's just not walking around people with their heads up in the sky. So I'm absolutely sure they do have city planning and all that. As far as the public, can they go? I don't know. But if I went, I wouldn't know what the hell they're saying anyway. So it does me no good. Yeah. So somebody said paying $800 a month, you can buy a decent house here. Yeah, but some at different ages and different stages of your life, if I was in my early 50s, 51, 52, I would think about building another house here. But, at almost 60, it doesn't appeal to me. I might give indications in the rise in prices. Yeah, and it's going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up. I mean, now we learned that Vin Diesel is getting ready to build a studio here in Dominican Republic towards Puerto Plata side. So of course that's going to rise the prices even more. But like I said, it's one thing having even that come in, right? Building more ports for tourists, more ports for ships to come in. But put the infrastructure there. And I'm not talking about putting up pretty statues and painting the goddamn sidewalks. Put some infrastructure in there that says, "Hey, this is the price. The price is going up because look at what you're getting, right? Look at what you're getting. You're getting this infrastructure. You got this road that I've heard for 5 years that takes me, from that I could go to Santiago. It's supposed to be when they finish this whole new road thing that I've been hearing for 5 years. That you can get to Santiago not in 90 minutes, but in 20 minutes. All right, that's a good amenity to have. That's something I would want to live in a neighborhood. I could get to Santiago in 20 minutes. Bam. I could go do my Price Mart shopping for my babies at the orphanage. Takes me 20 minutes. Okay. A beautiful new mall coming up. That's something I can get a hold of. Yeah, they got this nice mall. I'm not talking, a nice movie house, something. Where's the infrastructure that demands the price? This is what I'm saying. So anyway, so let me hear your comments. I can start reading some of this stuff now. But I'm really, I'm personally just ain't gonna play this game with them. That was Grash, yeah, super chat. Yeah, I'm just not gonna play this game with them. I'm not doing it. And like I said, do what you want, but I advise you don't. If you want to play the game with them, barter. If somebody tell you, unless it look like a damn mansion, right? A mansion with a $6 million view, $1,200 for an empty house, with no amenities and bad Wi-Fi, no. So, like I said, play the game, but make sure you get what you want at the end. And as long as you're satisfied with the price, with the views, with whatever amenity that you're looking for, as long as you're satisfied with it, then that's fine. But now let me tell you about some of these renting out some of these houses with the furnitures, because a lot of times people want to rent out the furnishing. These are old, nasty furnishings, shit that you don't want to. They don't even want it. It's like stuff is passed down from like the great grandparents, and like they say you, hey, all right, if the apartment was empty, let's say you're looking for an apartment. If the apartment was empty, it would be $400, but I got to charge you $750, not even pesos. I got to charge you $750 because the house is furnished. You go inside the house, it's like, I don't want that. I said, listen, give me the house, give me the apartment unfurnished. Take all this old shit out of here because I don't want it. Nope, can't do it. Why? We got nowhere to put it. Well, I don't want it. Evidently, you don't want it. It's not in your house. But they want to charge you these astronomical prices for this shitty looking furniture. And then sometimes it's so crowded. It's like, I'm going to tell you, nothing gets thrown away in Dominican Republic. Nothing gets thrown away. Stuff don't get thrown away. And I don't even throw stuff away, even old clothes, whatever, because I always try to find somebody who can use it. Maybe that'll help them out. Make their life just a little bit easier for that day. However, you in the real estate business, you're renting out apartments, and you got all this old, oversized, funky furniture, and you trying to upcharge me on some shit that you wouldn't even live in. Now that's frustrating. And you have to just keep going from place to place, place to place, place to place, because, listen, all right, they tell you if it was empty, it'd be $400. But since it's not empty, then you want to charge you a security deposit on some goddamn furniture that's 50 funky years old. Get the hell out of here. That's crazy. That is insanity. You can't even move from room to room. Or they'll pile all this shit up in a 3-bedroom apartment and tell you, well, you're renting You're renting 2 rooms, but the master bedroom, it got a lot of furniture over here and it got a padlock on the door. Well, no, I want the whole apartment. Well, there's no place to put it. Well, find some place. How about get rid of the shit? How about going to some neighborhoods where people are sitting on floors and give them some furniture to sit on? But don't be renting me some funky furniture that you don't even want in your house. Or I can't have the all 3 bedrooms because you need a place to store your shit. I mean, man, it's crazy. So these are some of the things you really gotta look out for. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And like I said, it would be one thing if they were being if these types of issues or were being done across the board. Like one thing that's cultural here in Dominican Republic is people getting in front of you in line. Especially if you're standing in a grocery store and you got a shopping cart full of groceries and somebody got 1 or 2 items, they'll cut in front of you quickly. They're gonna cut in front of you, right? And when you first move down, you're like, hey, what are you cutting in front of me? Because then another person see them cut in front, they want to go. But that doesn't even bother me because I see them do it with each other, so it's more cultural than gringo. You know what I'm saying? It's more cultural than gringo. But the gringo shit is what I can't take. Especially when it's like way out of pocket. Like somebody trying to sell you something 60 grand over, it's way out of pocket. So, anyway, I'm off my rant tonight. So what do you got? What questions you got? I'm ready to take them on. But I'm telling you, just beware. Beware. I still think this is one of the most beautiful places to come visit. I think it's still one of the most beautiful places to settle down. But there's just some stuff that you gotta fight back. Now, I'm gonna tell you, and I'll tell others, you are in somebody else's backyard, right? You invited in somebody else's home, and people are good to you. However, and you have to respect the culture, the norms, and all that stuff. No problem with that. However, being gringo, I'm not that we're gonna fight against. Everything else I could take. I could take skipping in front of me in line, the crazy driving, whatever noise that they have in Dominican Republic, I can handle all that. But when it comes to my money, nah, that one I'm gonna fight back. All right, so if you had to leave DR, what country would you choose? Right now, I would probably try to check out like the Philippines. Well, not the Philippines, Thailand. Why Thailand? No, you don't need a COVID test to come here. They may check you at the airport and prick your hand. As long as you don't have the antibodies, you keep on moving. But I would say Thailand. Why? Because Thailand has the infrastructure. And Thailand also has great prices. But Thailand is a long way off. Thailand, Philippines, somewhere like that. Definitely Philippines. Because I want to go somewhere where I get the biggest bang for my buck. My natural second choice would probably be Panama, because that's where I was going to move first. But Panama, financially, there's no perk to moving to Panama anymore, because Panama has just got skyrocketed. So I want to go somewhere where I can have the biggest bang for my buck with the amenities. And Pattaya, yes. When I was in Pattaya, I went to the mall. They have the malls, they have the infrastructure, the movie houses. Excellent, excellent, excellent Wi-Fi. Excellent Wi-Fi. Never a problem. I had Wi-Fi and the whole time that I spent in Pattaya. And I was there 3 times for at least 3 weeks each time. Never had an issue. The infrastructure, as far as the renting, as far as buying real estate, they not doing the slap in the face with the way they doing in DR. Bali's another place. Bali also has a very strong community of expats and people who work remotely. So Bali's another one. I would definitely love to give Bali a try, and I definitely will be visiting that as soon as the borders start opening up. So that would be it. I want to get away a little bit. Santo Domingo is close to Miami, very modern compared to other Latin American capitals. Yeah, but even Santo Domingo, I love Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo is certainly one of the cities that have more amenities. It's the capital. Than Puerto Plata, the North Coast, Cabaret, or whatever. But they got their internet issues too sometimes. You know, like I said, man, I just want something with the infrastructure that supports the price gouging. You know, give me something with internet supporting the price gouging. I mean, I think DR, and I'll talk about it. I'm gonna do a vlog separate from this. Has good medical care. I really do, and I've asked a few people who've had operations and uh, down here, and didn't die on the operating table, nothing like that. A lot of people like their medical. However, I've been needing an MRI because I'm having some back pains for a minute. And I just finally got a call today after about almost 2 weeks that the MRI machine is back working. I'm in the city of Puerto Plata. The only hospital that with one MRI machine not working. You see what I mean by infrastructure? So, you know, it doesn't support it. Russell Simmons is in Bali. Bali has no extradition laws. Well, I don't ever plan on being in trouble, but that's good information to know in case there's something ever happens. One never knows. But I would love to go to Bali. Still would drive an expensive car like an Escalade when the Dominican. But I personally wouldn't drive. I drove luxury cars since I was probably 19, 20 years old until I moved to Dominican Republic. I don't want to drive an expensive car because you stand out. And the last thing you want to do is stand out. When I roll into neighborhoods, especially that I've never been in, people don't know me. I don't even wash my car. My car stays dirty. I don't even wash it. I don't even because I don't and I used to be this cat who be out there every other afternoon, wiping my car off, wiping it down. But I don't even do that here. I want to fly under that radar. If it gets a ding, shit. As long as there ain't a big smash in the side door, that ding stay there. Them scratches stay in there. I want to fly under that radar. Now I have another friend who lives here who just brought a brand new Mercedes and wears a Rolex. Hey, if you want to do that, knock yourself out. Me personally, I like flying under the radar. I don't like being that target. And when you flash like that, you honestly are making yourself a target. Like I said, this ain't a one size fits all. People gonna do what they want to do. Me, no, I don't think it's a smart idea. All right, so why drive expensive car in the DR guarantee accidents several times a year? That's true. I done been into two of them. Well, I've been driving in DR for about 3 years now, so I've only been in two accidents. A nice 2010 Toyota Corolla. Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool car to have down here. You just want something, definitely SUV, something off the ground, because they got potholes the size of a damn, elevator taking you to the basement. Sounds to me like there's an opportunity to create an internal. Yeah, and that's and you have people down here creating opportunities, creating their own neighborhoods. There's one particular area where I know several 8 people brought land all in the same area. I mean, just like all next to each other in the same area. Several brothers brought it. And they even asked me. I personally just don't like the area. Because me, I don't want to drive through the ghetto to get to my neighborhood. And I'm not talking about what the brothers drive. I mean, what the brothers brought. What they brought was cool for them. And like I said, it comes when you get into what's going to be, I guess, the new community, things open up. But unless somebody can show me how to drive and get there without me going through the ghetto or the barrio, I should say, I ain't doing it because my drive into my living quarters is just as important to me as the neighborhood and what it looks like. Like my drive into my home on the Malecon, I'm on Route 5. Once I make that right by that Jumbo's and hit the Malecon, all I see is the beautiful ocean. Go down to the corner, make a left. All I see is the beautiful ocean. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to drive through no barriers. I want straight beauty the whole drive home because to me, that relaxes me. But I think what the guys are going to do over there is going to create their own utopia. And I am 100% behind what they're doing. I think what they're doing is fantastic. Like I said, I'm with the group. We're trying to do the same thing. But I saw that land a while back. I just don't. Location for me is not that. But I think they're gonna do some big things over there. I really do. How's the 24-hour legal business going? It's going. It's going. Got some billboards up. What areas in the Dominican Republic should you avoid buying a house or building in? The roughest part. I mean, I don't know. I was looking to spend about $700. Yeah, I mean, what part you should avoid? Listen, anytime you're going to build, you want to know the area because it's the same thing. Real estate in Dominican Republic is the same real estate, is the same thought process you should put as in the States. There's three magic words in real estate, no matter where you are in the world. Location, location, location. Location, location, location. That's all you need to remember. And if that location ain't what you think it want to be, then don't do it. Like I said, I can't see moving on an island and not having ocean views. I just don't want to do it. Or not being able to walk 5 to 6 minutes to the beach, tops. When I bought my condo, okay, it take me 8 minutes if I stop for a beer. But I want that amenity in my location, but also if I decide to rent, if I decide to sell it, property value goes up. So location, location, location. All right, so we was on here 47 minutes. I'm not gonna be here too much longer, but I wanted to give you that message because people are coming down here and people are buying up like crazy. And I've seen cats. I know a couple of guys, a couple of brothers that have brought villas in the Casa Linda area. By the way, if you need a nice casa, if you need a nice villa and you want to keep the money in the family, let me know. I got about 3 brothers now, 3 brothers that brought villas out there. I'll send you their number. I'll hook you up. Not a problem. I got to do, matter of fact, I need to do a video on that so you can see the different amenities, and these are some nice places. So people doing their thing down here. But like I said, I want to make sure people not down here coming down here getting taken. And that's the only thing. Just like I said, be skeptical. It pays. I need a place for 30 days. I'm going to hit you up when I come down in December. Not a problem. So somebody said need a place for 30 days, but I have no other information. I don't know what your budget is. Always start with a budget. Very nice video. Good job, bro. Thank you. No problem, Big Gary Matt. I don't know what your budget is. I don't know how many bedrooms you live. When people send me these oblique messages like, I need to play for 30 days. Do you have a family? I mean, I don't know none of this stuff. So, I don't know. You ain't put down the city you want to stay in. You want to be in Gaspar Hernandez, Cabaret. So make sure when you send me a message, and not this message, because these messages coming out, like I said, I don't even have my computer, so I can't even slow it down to read it. But make sure that that you have specific criteria in there, so that way if you send me something, I can just shoot the answer out to you. We don't have to go back and forth 10 times. How about that? That helps you. That helps me. We both happy. December's a long time from now. Yeah, but it goes fast. It do go fast. But anyway, man, thank y'all for joining the feed tonight, man. I appreciate you. Watch both those faces. That gringo face, that Dominican face, when you're dealing with real estate, property, rentals, watch both faces and try to come up somewhere in the middle. All right? Peace and love, family. Peace and love.